Hi, I'm Taylor with Concierge Physical Therapy Services, and I'm making this video today to explain the differences between common weight-bearing statuses and what that might mean for you after you have a surgical procedure or an injury. Now, the weight-bearing statuses are set by your physician, so that's not something that I would tell you what you should or shouldn't do in regards to what your weight-bearing status is after a particular injury. However, I can teach you how to follow that prescribed weight-bearing status. I am going to use a walker today. Using crutches or other types of assistive devices do typically, the information is essentially transferable for the most part, okay? So the very first weight-bearing status I'm going to talk to you about today is non-weight bearing. So what that means is quite literally no weight can go through the affected leg. So today my left leg is going to be my injured leg. Even in standing, I need to be able to hold that leg up off the ground. If I were to walk with this walker, I'd have to push the walker a little bit further forward and quite literally hop to move through wherever I'm going. What that looks like standing up from a chair is you're holding that leg completely off the ground, leaning forward and coming up onto the walker. That way, never once does this leg touch the ground. Another common one I really see is toe touch weight bearing. And I think toe touch weight bearing is the most difficult of all the weight bearing statuses to maintain. So what that means is you are actually allowed to put your affected leg down, but actually no weight can go through it. So really it's just resting on the floor. A lot of physicians will do this so that way when you're hopping, you don't have quite that same jarring force. Or just for a little bit of extra balance. So what that looks like with the walker here is I would bring the walker forward, and typically I teach my clients, go ahead and move that affected leg forward. I'm just gently resting my foot on the floor and still essentially hopping to the next step. At no point is any weight actually going through this leg. So again, with standing, what that's going to look like is you're still holding that leg up off the ground, leaning forward and transitioning your hands up. Once your hands are up, you can rest that foot on the floor. Another weight-bearing status that people typically will have, especially after a total hip or a total knee replacement, is weight-bearing is tolerated. What's great about this weight-bearing status is you are allowed to put full weight through the leg. When this is ordered, you are not going to hurt the surgery by putting weight through that leg. However, it just might not be super comfortable. So again, with walking, I can start out where I go walker, left leg together. That way, I'm kind of bracing with my arms as I'm starting to put weight through that affected leg. But eventually, and as quickly as we can, we do want to progress more to that reciprocal pattern, step over step. When getting up from a chair, when you're weight bearing as tolerated, you're allowed to put full weight through that leg. So you really could just stand up like normal. However, if you're still pretty painful and are not quite there to where you feel you can fully weight bear, what you can do is put that affected leg a little bit further forward and then really bending your opposite knee back. That way, the majority of the weight is going to go towards my right leg, but I'm still getting weight through the left. And then I can stand like normal before moving on. The very last weight-bearing status I'm going to talk to you about today is called 50% weight-bearing, and this one is pretty confusing and it's not very common, so I'm hoping you won't run into it. But in case you do, what 50% weight-bearing means is I can stand here not holding on to anything as long as I'm standing straight up and haven't shifted my weight one way or another. This is 50% weight-bearing. One leg is holding 50% of my weight. The other leg is holding 50% of my weight. What comes into play here is as soon as you need to shift your weight to lift a leg, the leg you're standing on is now 100% weight bearing. So if it's my left leg that is the 50% weight bearing status, what that means when I'm walking is anytime I'm stepping forward with my non-affected leg, so the leg that isn't involved, I have to really push down through the walker. So I'm starting to shift my weight towards my left, which is affected. I really need to brace with the walker so that it's not 100% of my weight going through this leg. So I'm bracing, and then once I put that right foot down, I can walk like normal. Brace, normal, brace. When you go to stand up from a chair, this is great because you can just stand up normally. So pushing up from that chair, again, when I'm standing with equal weight through both my legs, they are both taking approximately 50%. Let me know if you have any questions on this. I know this is something that even in school, it took me a little while to grasp. I'd be happy to answer your questions. Feel free to leave that comment below or give us a call. And once again, as always, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.